The EA Sports NHL series is one of the longest running annual releases in the entire gaming industry. There aren't many series that started all the way back in 1991 on the Sega Genesis that are still around today. For such a long running series, it can get hard to keep things fresh so many years later. Was EA Sports able to do just that, or are things starting to get stale this year? Let's find out as we take a look at NHL 26.
Sports Gamers Online is the #1 source for the sports gamer.
The biggest change advertised for NHL 26 is the addition of Ice Q 2.0. This new edition of the gameplay movement system introduced in NHL 25 now brings NHL Edge data to help improve how players move and act on the ice. NHL Edge tracks player movement and acceleration, shot speed, reaction time, and much more. The goal here is to make players more responsive, smarter, and move more like they do in real life. Part of this goal is accomplished. When you're in control of a player, they do feel more responsive. Players can cut on a dime and change direction much faster this year. Big hits also feel much more physical this year. Lining up that perfect shoulder check is incredibly satisfying. However, when you're not controlling things, the AI remains as unimpressive as ever. CPU players aren't that aggressive either on the attack or in the defensive zone. They also don't appear to be that smart. I mean, when I have multiple instances of CPU players causing their own goals within my first hour of gameplay, things could use some work. NHL 26 also aimed to make goalies play better between the posts. Goalies are supposed to be better at getting back in position after a save, diving on pucks, and playing with a sense of purpose. Sadly, it didn't feel like this was the case for me. It still felt like goalies made little effort after a diving save to get back up and prevent a quick rebound shot. My goalie constantly allowed opponents to skate right in front of them without trying to poke check the puck away. In general, it made me play much more conservatively on defense because it felt like my goalie was a major liability more often than not. Be a Pro is the shining star when it comes to game modes in NHL 26. EA Sports wanted to focus on revamping this mode into what players have wanted for years. First up is the addition of the World Juniors Championship as the very first part of your journey. You get to play 3 games to try to bring your country the championship. After this, you continue to play amateur games as you get ready for the NHL draft. Once you actually enter the league, things continue to be pretty impressive. There are plenty of cool cutscenes like when you enter their locker room for the first time and when you run out on the ice for your first preseason game. This boost in presentation helps make these moments feel incredibly exciting. The new media scrum system is also a welcome addition. Now, after big games or important moments, you'll be asked a few questions by the media. How you answer will affect things like your brand reputation as well as how much management and your teammates like you. The system works pretty well for the most part, except for the press conference right before the draft. I thought I was giving pretty good answers, ones that you would stereotypically think, would boost teammate morale and stuff like that. But for some reason, I kept getting negative responses and dropped from the #1 pick to the #4 pick because of it. The final major addition is the chance of being sent down to the AHL. When you first get drafted, you're given a set of goals you have to meet in the preseason just to make the team. If you don't meet those goals, you can be sent down until you perform well enough to earn a spot on the NHL squad. Overall, it's nice to see Be a Pro get the revamp it needed. It's clear a lot of work went into bringing this career mode up to the expectations of the fans. Hopefully, the mode builds off this foundation in future years. Hockey Ultimate Team in NHL 26 has the exact opposite problem that I saw in Madden NFL 26. Whereas Madden made it fun to collect cards but had no fun modes to use those cards in, HUT has some pretty good modes for both online and offline players. I specifically enjoy the new Offline Seasons mode, which makes it fun to grind against the CPU to help build your team. However, in NHL's HUT, every second I'm not on the ice is pretty rough. The menus are incredibly laggy. Also, the sets menu is very clunky and time-consuming. In Madden NFL 26, sets were simplified to make cashing in your rewards quick and require as few button presses as possible. In NHL 26, sets still require far too many button presses just to fill out a small set of like 5 cards. Lastly, I don't understand why any Ultimate team still requires players to manually add cards to their collection after opening a pack. The card should just automatically be added to my inventory. It saves a ton of time and makes opening packs more enjoyable, which is the ultimate goal of Ultimate Team. I know this is a bit of a nitpick, but I don't know, it's just something that has always irritated me. In the end, NHL 26 has a good foundation of modes for HUT. It just needs to iron out the card collecting aspect of this card collecting mode. In the lead up to NHL 26's release, there weren't any major additions or improvements advertised for franchise mode. EA Sports didn't put out a franchise mode deep dive this year. When I booted up the game for the first time, I was greeted with several slides showing me the additions to every mode. However, franchise mode didn't have a slide. I say all of that to say that franchise mode in NHL 26 is pretty much a copy and paste from NHL 25. It is incredibly disappointing and frankly unacceptable for one of the main game modes to go an entire year without a single primary edition for fans to get excited about. Presentation in NHL 26 is improved in some areas. We've already talked about the cutscenes and press conferences in Be a Pro that help add realism to the experience. Also, the new Be a Pro hub helps display all of the relevant information about your career in an easy-to-read display. However, outside of this mode, the presentation is pretty lackluster. Most of what you see both on and off the ice seems almost the same compared to NHL 25. The menus, broadcast graphics, and even pre-game introductions don't have much new to get excited about. NHL 26 has some clear bright spots, but also some clear disappointments. Be a Pro is an incredible career mode experience that serves as the main selling point for this game. However, the gameplay issues and lack of additions to some key modes makes this game hard to recommend. If you haven't played a game in the series in a few years, or only played Be a Pro, then you'll probably enjoy NHL 26. Outside of that, there isn't enough added to this game to warrant a purchase at full price. That's going to do it for this video, everyone, which means it's time for you to get in on the conversation. Go down to the comments and let us know what you think of NHL 26. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. And for all your sports gaming news and updates, stay tuned to Sports Gamers Online. I'm Brandon Satterwhite with SGO. Thank you for watching.